Hey everyone. Today we're going to be talking about my personal camping system. There's a lot of people that talk about bug out bags and get home bags and that type of thing on YouTube. I don't really subscribe to the same kind of theory as that. However, if I did have a bug out bag, this would be it. This carries and houses all of my essential camping equipment, all of my blades and equipment. This is, for all intents and purposes, my 72-hour pack. I have enough food to keep me sustained for 72 hours, and I have all the equipment that I would require. So let's just dig into it. I don't want this video to be too terribly long, so we'll start on the back and the outside. So I carry my cup, which is a Stanley cup. It breaks into 2 cups, so it's awfully handy. It also gives it a bit of insulative value. This is a great cup. It's a little on the heavy side, but this system is more geared towards canoe camping, so weight isn't nearly as much of an option or as much of a problem as if I was hiking in or whatnot. On the outside, I keep my 1.4 liter Nalgene. This is my larger Nalgene that where when I'm filtering water, I like to have a larger Nalgene to collect the filtered water. But this one generally stays empty until I start filtering. All the beaners on the back are all climbing rated beaners. So if I do need to lash something up or whatnot, I'm completely secure in my equipment. On the bottom, I've got a dry bag with a Canadian military wool blanket. It's just a standard, Canadian military wool blanket. I highly recommend a good wool blanket for camping. They keep their insulative value when they're wet, and they're just really great to have. I also will use a proper sleeping bag, but in the summer months especially, all you really need is a wool blanket. In the back of this kit, this is the bag itself is the 511 Rush 72. So I keep all the kind of really essential stuff that I need to get to right away, right back here. I've marked the zippers with orange paracord, just because this is where I also keep my first aid kit, and it's good to be able to identify where you keep your first aid kit, just in case you need to tell somebody else where to go to get it. If you need to send somebody to go get your kit, you can just say, look for the orange zippers. So like I said, this area is kind of my quick grab area. So my deerskin gloves right on top. I also keep this Integral Tactical 5x8 poncho tarp. So it's a poncho and doubles as a tarp. It's a really high quality ripstop nylon. That if it begins to rain, I can throw it over my entire pack and myself, and it also gives me the option of lashing it out and using it as a temporary shelter. I've got a secondary pair of deerskin gloves. 2 is 1, 1 is none. I have a small camping lantern. This runs off of AA batteries, and it's quite bright. Different modes. This one is a multifunction camping lantern. I'm not quite sure what the brand name is. I did get this at Lee Valley Tools. So we've also got a first aid kit. This one, I basically bought it for the size of the package. I replaced most of the things inside. I'm not even going to tear it apart, but I've replaced probably 75% of the items in this with my own first aid kit items. In the top, quick grab area for my GPS, which is a Garmin Montana 600. This has road mapping as well as a full Canadian topographic map in the system. I'll probably be doing a review of this GPS going forward in the future. I have a length of or a hank of jute twine. This is probably about 25 to 30 feet. Really good for lashings if you're doing tripods and whatnot, and you don't know if you're going to have time to take down all the string. It's biodegradable. It's great stuff, and it also doubles as a really great tinder. I've got about a 30-foot length of orange paracord. Down here I've got Sharpie and a carpenter's pencil. This is for drawing out stuff that I'm going to be carving. And speaking of carving, this is my Mora spoon knife. It's a hook knife. I keep that wrapped in a cloth and in a dry bag. As well, I have UCO stormproof matches, which are these style of matches. Work really good. I like to keep, rather than having a specific fire kit, I like to keep fire making items throughout my pack, so I know that pretty much wherever I go or wherever I send somebody, they're going to be able to find something to make fire with. Back here I've got some Gorilla Tape wrapped around a credit card. Probably about 10 feet or so. I've got some orange nylon twine, really good for lashings and whatnot as well. And some snare wire. Standard, I'm not even sure what the gauge is. It's relatively light gauge wire. It'd be good for snaring rabbits. And then lastly, hip flask. I always, especially in the winter months, I always carry a small hip flask of whiskey. Some people will disagree with using alcohol in terms of camping and survival, but I think I heard it best put once as hope in a bottle. It's a rum ration will certainly brighten up your day. Now the interesting part about this pack is that it's actually got this kind of section that kind of sandwiches the center section. So in that I keep my hammock. Let's just undo this and let it come apart. So this is my Hennessy hammock. This is the zip model. It's the Explorer asymmetrical zip. Works great. I've got a bunch of mods done to it as well. So it's your complete shelter system. I'll be doing a review on this once it dries out a bit and once the summer's here. I have a cold steel Spetsnaz shovel, I believe it's called. It's a very, very heavy duty camping shovel. Doubles as an axe. It's sharpened all the way around. And a bit of orange paracord just so it's easy to see. This is great for digging fire pits, using the facilities, so to speak. A great bit of kit, although it is relatively heavy. So obviously this doesn't ride with me if I'm just doing a day hike and whatnot. This top part, this is a very small container. This is again is very handy for certain items. I like to keep my fire starting and my light items in here. So I have a skirt pin, good for just attaching things to fabric. Inside I've got a Bic lighter, a light my fire steel ferrocerium rod, a bunch of small light sticks, a spare whistle, and a magnesium fire starter. So that's kind of my fire starting area. Across the room I've got, this is a small monocular. Helps you for scouting. This is the Tasco 10 by 25. So it gives you a 10 power magnification. Inside I've got a headband, a Phoenix headband with a, what is this, the Phoenix LD10 light, LED light, just, you know, just to enable you to grab it quickly and you'll have a headlight. Yeah, it should become dark. I've also got the attachment to give you a lamp. Okay, now the two areas that I've already shown you, or three areas I guess including all this, is all kind of designed to be gotten at quickly. Everything else is kind of more comfort related and things that aren't really needed to get at very quickly. Inside, I just have my my belt kit. This, when I go camping, stays on me. You guys have seen this before. We've talked about that before. So that's just what I carry inside. I also have a waterproof map case. This is where I last went far north. In the map case, I keep a pouch with my Right in the Rain notebook, Right in the Rain pen, pencil, Sharpie, 4.7's Preon 2 light, and spare compass. This is a map reading compass. This is a Brinton Classic. And all of that stays in the map case. Now I have put beaners on the map case because when I'm out paddling I do like to attach it to my pack, so if my pack is facing me like this while I'm paddling, I can read my map. Okay, I also have my water filtration system. You can reference my dihydrogen monoxide video of everything that I keep in here. But this is the MSR MiniWorks water filtration system, and it's pretty much bomb-proof. Okay, now it's in the bottom. I have 100 feet of white paracord, basically just for emergency use. Inside here, that's a candle and some fat wood, fire making things. Just some granola bar, random granola bar, earplugs, spare tea, fire starters, and Benz 100. This is the real Benz 100. This is the 98.11% DEET. You can't get this in Canada anymore. So for all my Canadian friends, you're going to need to check eBay and get it shipped in from the States, because they ban now anything above 23.5% DEET, I believe. However, if you're in the far north where the black flies and mosquitoes are terrible, you're going to want the good stuff. Some tea lights and a spare bucket of matches. As you can see, I'm very big on my being able to ensure that that I can make a fire. Some toothpicks, again, comfort items. This is my basic hygiene kit. I don't have my toothbrush in here for obvious reasons, but I got a bit of biodegradable camp soap and some dental floss. Spare lighter. This is my my Fox 40 whistle. This whistle's probably 20 years old and still works great. It's my main camp whistle. And a Fisher bullet space pen. So again, this is just kind of you know, comfort items and things that aren't absolutely essential to get at right away, but once you begin to make your camp, they're still near the top of the bag. Underneath, I've got a, this is a Eton solar crank radio. Also has a LED flashlight. The thing I like about this particular model is it's got your weather band on it, so wherever you are in Canada, if you need to know what weather conditions are or are going to be, you can always check your weather band, and it doesn't ever kill your batteries. Glove liners for my gloves. These will, you know, obviously get removed from my pack once spring comes. But you've seen those in my previous videos. This is my slingshot, just really for fun, although you can, you know, still certainly obtain small game with this. I swapped out the bands for the black bands, which give you a little bit more power. And this is the TrueMark model. This was all of $10, and it works like a champ. Spare Bear Grylls Ferrocerium rod, just for giggles. And my batteries. I have 3, 6, 9, 12 AA's and 6 AA's. The AA's are really only for my Preon 2. However, my GPS runs on AA's, as well as my Phoenix LD10 light. I just keep some cotton in there just to keep them from rattling around. This is my CR123 batteries. I've got 2, 4, 6 of those, and those are for my the light that never leaves my side, the Phoenix PD32. I've also got a Phoenix PD30. Both of those use the CR123 batteries. In the bottom, this is, as a paddler, something that I learned a long time ago, and I always do it, is set aside a small, generally waterproof pack of clothes. This one contains long underwear, micro fleece in a waffle weave, and some wool socks. And no matter what happens, you'll always be able to put on dry clothes. Very, very important. If you capsize or get caught in a rainstorm or whatever, and you have no way of getting dry other than a fire, it's really nice to be able to just strip off your clothes and wear these until you got everything dried out. So it's a very good idea. As well, I have a camp towel and a bandana. Also in this pouch, I keep my sharpening system with the different grits of sandpaper and straw. This is because I use a convex belt knife, and this system I find works best for me. We keep it in most things in a Ziploc bag, just because, you know, I want to keep everything as waterproof as possible. Now, this is the true comfort section. Playing cards. You never know when you're going to be bored. A book. This is I'm reading Richard Marshenko's Rogue Warrior book. Again. This is something that I found off eBay last year, and it actually works really, really good. It's a little device. Put in 4 AA batteries in there, and it will recharge your iPhone 1.5 times on 4 AA batteries. I always do bring my iPhone, simply because you know, I always have it on me when I go out, and it's great for, you know, putting on some music or taking pictures and videos, and I mean, it's an iPhone. So I do bring it out, and this keeps the battery charged. Flare kit. I keep it in a waterproof bag. It's a standard flare pen system. It's all organized inside the dry bag. But I normally not only bring pen flares, but I bring shotgun flares if I'm going far enough north where I'm actually bringing my shotgun. A emergency space blanket. And a sewing kit. Okay. There's also in this bag almost a hidden area right here. It's a fleece lined pocket, so it's great for cameras and sunglasses and whatnot. In there I keep my, actually, this is my my regular camera, Lumix 12 megapixel, as well as an emergency light. This is the Olight S10 Baton. I'll be doing a review on this as well. This also takes the CR123 batteries. That's a fantastic little light. As well, in this pocket, on the top, I carry this. I can't remember fully, but I believe that I originally saw this on the Bushcraft Barton's YouTube page, and this is how I attach my my pack to a tree. Once I get to where I need to go, I can suspend my pack just by wrapping it around a tree, like so, and putting the clip through this prusik knot, and of course so it would hang like that, and the prusik knot is obviously adjustable. But it's a nice little handy trick to keep your bag off the ground, which is especially handy in the wintertime when you don't want everything getting wet or covered in snow. Now, in the back, this is originally reserved for, I believe, for hydration area. I personally don't use camelbacks and whatnot, so I put a few other things in here. This is my my personals kit. This is where I'll put my car keys, my my iPhone, which in turn goes in a watertight Plano container. It's got an O-ring, keeps it nice and sealed. So yeah, this is basically where I put my wallet, my keys, and my phone. And this is where it gets stored for the trip. So I know exactly where they are when I get back to my car. I've also got a spare dry bag, good for hauling water and keeping other things dry. Inside I just have my schmog. And then in the very bottom is where I keep my food, my emergency food. And it generally consists of dried minestrone soup and oatmeal. I think I've got enough for I don't know, 2 packets a day for 3 days, which wouldn't be comfortable, but it would certainly sustain you. Now, on the outsides of the pack, there are these outside pockets as well. In here I keep my saw folding camp saw. I love this saw, super lightweight. And a spare knife. This is my Mora Robust. This is the newer model in orange, obviously. I find that it's also good to carry a spare knife because, I mean, depending on who you're camping with, you can always just, you know, pass off a knife to them if they don't have their own. And on the other side, I have a small folding saw. This is good for smaller detail work if you need a saw very quickly and you don't want to set the saw viver up. It's also got finer teeth on it, so it's good for notching and doing kind of finer woodworking tasks. On the outside, this side, I have my trusty Becker BK9. This is my go-to camp knife. It has been for some time now. It's a heavy-duty camp knife. I've split many logs with this, and I basically use it as a machete and as a general task knife. Kind of a rougher knife, but you can still do pretty much everything that you need to do with this knife. As well, I've added, rather than another knife, this is a Smith's diamond sharpener. Got a coarse side and a fine side. This also works good for sharpening your axe. Grand Force Brooks small forest axe. Haven't really done anything to this, but other than sharpen it and add a lanyard. A standard mid-size hatchet. It's an absolutely fantastic bit of kit. I used to be very big into just bringing out a knife. However, more recently I find that something this size is definitely worth its weight. And the other side is what my English friends would call a brew kit. This is the Maxpedition 12 by 6 pack, I believe. Inside I've got orange bandana, good for signaling as well as helping with your cooking chores. An Hygiene container filled with sugar, because I drink sugar in my tea. Hygiene, standard 1 liter Hygiene wide mouth. And this is actually just recently got this one to replace my Ola camps. This is a Esbit titanium mug with lid. I really like how this has its own little bag, so that if you're cooking over an open fire with it, you're not going to get all that black soot all over everything else in your gear. Front, I have 2 different kinds of tea, standard black tea and sleepy time, which is a chamomile tea, a non-caffeinated tea, and my titanium light my fire spork. And I think I've just about covered my entire kit now. This is what I use. It is somewhat heavy. It probably weighs in somewhere in and around the 50-pound range. Again, it is set up right now for canoe camping, so weight really isn't a lot of a concern, as much as it is if you were doing, you know, a 20K hike or something like that. Then it would certainly get pared back. But for my style of camping, this is how I'm rolling right now. All of this is going to be subject to change too. I'm forever modifying and changing the way that I roll with my loadout. So this is basically a snapshot in time. This is, as of this date, this is what I'm using. As I find things aren't working or not for me, they get changed. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.